Jesus had told them that he was the source of living water. He had promised them that whoever believes in him will never be thirsty. In the midst of the temple, as offerings of water and wine were being poured onto the altar, he had cried out, "Let anyone who is thirsty come to me, and let the one who believes in me drink." His disciples never completely understood what he meant by this, but there was something about the power of his words that made them follow him anyway. Hopeful, excited, expecting some kind of miracle of liberation. It would come through him, they thought, and this mysterious living water that he was offering. There was something about that living water that they recognized from their ancient past. In the words of the prophets, of water as a source of life, and also as one of the ways that the Spirit of God moves through the world. A place where they had met God before, in the waters of creation, the waters of the flood, the waters of the well, the waters of healing and purification, and the waters of the sea through which liberation is found. Jesus was the one who was immersed in the River Jordan, drenched in the waters of baptism, when a voice from heaven called out, "You are my Son, the Beloved." He was the one who had miraculously turned gallons of water into the most delectable wine for the wedding feast. He was the one who had the power to still the waves in a storm, and the humility to gently wash his disciples' feet. They had seen what he could do, how he could transform the ordinariness of this world into something greater. Water into wine, water into healing, water into spirit. Surely he was the one who could save them. But now, hanging on the cross, this source of living water is dried up. The one who would quench their thirst is thirsty, parched, dying. On this dry, dusty hill, his life is being poured out drop by drop. And the only water in sight are the tears of those who love him, who stand by and watch and wait. Truth be told, no one had ever fully understood what Jesus was here to do. Not the authorities, not his family, not even his most faithful followers. Mostly, they just took him at his word, not comprehending the deeper meaning of his teaching. When he tells the Samaritan woman drawing water at the well that he would give her living water, she wonders how this can be, since he doesn't have a bucket. When he feeds 5,000 people with a few loaves of bread, they don't understand that it is Jesus himself who will satisfy their hunger and quench their thirst. And on the night he was betrayed, Peter draws his sword to keep Jesus from being arrested, but Jesus corrects him. Am I not to drink the cup that the Father has given me? Now on the cross, Jesus cries out, I am thirsty. Again, those who are with him take him at his word. They offer him a sponge of sour wine. He surely was thirsty. It had been many, many hours since he had had something to drink. Tortured, abused, mocked, sweating as he carried his cross and losing blood. This terrible thirst was a part of his suffering, an acknowledgement of his humanity, and of his knowing our suffering too. And yet, this thirst was also something that arose from deep within his soul, a thirst that contained within it the whole purpose of his life. John tells us that he uttered these words only after he knew that all things had been accomplished. At the foot of the cross, when he brought together his mother and the beloved disciple, his final task was done, creating in them a new family that is not bound by blood or kinship, but is bound together in their love of him. And so, having completed everything he had come to do, he turns his gaze to the Father, to drink the cup that the Father had given him. This, finally, is the cup that Jesus thirsts for. This is the cup of suffering and bitterness transformed by him into a cup of blessing. It is a very real physical thirst and a yearning for God. It is the knowledge that his work is completed and even still a desire to fulfill the Father's will. There is more to this scene than our human eyes can perceive. It is a place where an instrument of torture and humiliation becomes the site of glorification, where a family broken apart by death is recreated, where the torment of physical thirst becomes a final act of commitment, and where all the horrific cruelty that humankind is capable of is transformed by love into our greatest hope. As we hear this story today, we too may take Jesus at his word. We know his physical thirst. But abiding for a while at the foot of the cross, bound together in love for him, we come to know a deeper truth and understand him in a new way. Witnessing his self-sacrifice, we come to know his love in the depths of our soul. We recognize that his thirst is and has always been for God and for the love of us. Our life comes through his death, and living water springs up through his thirst. Can we even now imagine that the living water he promised has already started to flow, trickling out into our parched and broken lives, flowing into the gaps, filling up our emptiness, and softening our hardened hearts. Jesus' thirst for God is our thirst. Jesus' desire to do God's will is our desire. It is a thirst that no wine, however sweet, can satisfy, and no water, however fresh, can quench. It is a thirst that only this source of living water can fill. Amen.